Hi, this is Tom. I am a longtime user of Excel, probably since 1991, and I've had classes in it actually that were pretty good. I use it almost every day. I've been using Excel 97 a lot, Excel 2003 quite a bit for years, and I hadn't used many versions with the ribbon. When I get this ribbon version, which is in this case it's Office 11 for Mac, I tried to do some very basic conditional formatting and I was thoroughly confused. So I put together this little video to help perhaps people that are in my same situation, because I spent many, I don't know if I want to say hours, I've spent a lot of time looking at this though, trying to figure it out. And it's interesting, it's the fourth time I've started this video, and every time I've run into mistakes that I could not explain easily. So I'm probably going to purposely make some of those mistakes so you can see all the traps you can fall into. And I think because I've started this 4 times, you do see that it's pretty easy to make mistakes and maybe it's not as intuitive as it used to be. And most of it has to do with the absolute and relative cell addressing. So if you don't know what that is, look it up. It is very important. So basically all I want to do here is I've got 3 columns. In each row I want to highlight the minimum value green, maximum red. Sounds pretty easy. So I'm going to highlight the 3 cells in the row. There is a ribbon click over here, and you can choose from these options. I'm going to go old school, as I call it. Just go from the top menu and say conditional formatting. So what I want to do here, it says show formatting rules for current selection. Fine. I want to add a rule. This 2-color scale makes gradients, so all 3 cells would perhaps be highlighted in different shades depending on which one's the lowest and which one's the highest. It's not what I want. I just want 1 cell green, 1 cell red, nothing in between. So I'm going to go to Classic, and I'm going to choose Use a Formula. Now this box here basically looks for something to be true or something that returns a true or a false. So I'm going to use a logical AND, which seems to be pretty common. So I'm going to say equals AND, and I'm going to click this B4 less than or equal to min of these 3 cells, and I'm going to say make it green. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. Seems to be working. Now let's just test this. I'm going to put -1 out here. Sorry, -1. Everything seems to be working. Oh, but you notice they're all green. Well, they're not all the minimum, so that's a problem. So some of these mistakes I'm kind of making on purpose. So let's go back and figure out what I did wrong. So go back in. Let's edit the rule. And the problem here is I've got $signs in front of this B and the 4. That's the issue, because it's always going to check that cell. So as long as cell B4 is less, it's going to format them all green. And just to show you that, let's get out of here. So as long as this cell is lower, they're all going to be green. So let's make this cell 5 now. All the formatting goes away. So I'm like, whoa, what happened? Because it's always checking for B4 since they're $signs. So as long as that's the lowest one, they're all going to be green. Otherwise, none of them are going to be green. So let's put it back, and let's go back and fix it. Format, conditional formatting, edit rule. Now I'm going to purposely make another mistake here. I'm going to take the $sign out, Well, let's do it right the first time. And hit OK. That should work, right? So if I make this 0.5, it should become green. Awesome. Now let's make another mistake that may seem to work at first. Then again, maybe it won't. Format conditional formatting. What would happen if I took all these dollar signs away? So you saw that I needed to take the before dollar signs so it won't always lock on that cell. Let's take some of these away. Hit OK. Hit OK. So now the problem with that is it's checking each cell with respect to cells beside it. So if I were to put, I don't know, -1 here, and I maybe make this 0.5, see it's all screwed up now because 0.5 is the lowest value, but it's checking these 3 cells beside it and sees this -1 and says I'm not the minimum. So you can see how that can be screwed up. So let's go back and fix it. Conditional formatting, edit. So it is important to have dollar signs in front of this B, in front of this 4, in front of the D, and the 4, because now it's going to check specifically for the minimum of B4 through D4. It's not going to move that range. So that should work. Okay, make this a 2. The 1 should be green again. So we think we've done a good job here, but really not quite, because I want this format to copy down now. So let's try that. I'll just say take the format of these cells and I'll use Format Painter, which will copy the format down to the next rows. And it seems like it's worked, but let's make this 0.5. And that's green too, so I don't like that. There should only be 1. So obviously I've made a mistake here. And if I make this 10 and this 11, 10 should be the minimum, but nothing's green, right? So I've made a mistake. So the problem is, and I will show you, I'm going to go back and say Format, Conditional Formatting, edit the rule. The problem is I've got too many dollar signs here. So what happens is I want this to do it row by row. So what's happening is when I put a dollar sign in front of row 4, it always looks at B4 through D4 no matter what row it's in. So I want to get rid of the dollar sign in front of the row numbers. Okay. Now we'll just hit OK. Everything looks good in the first row as usual. Now hopefully when I copy this down using Format Painter, it's going to work. Okay, so now it's working. The minimum in each cell or each row is being highlighted. So if I make this 0.5, it should move over. If I make this 1, it should move over. It's great. Okay, so the lesson here is to make sure the dollar signs are in the right place, because that has to do with the relative and address formatting. And again, if you don't know what that is, look it up, because it's extremely important. There are many applications for that. So let's go ahead and let's do the same thing and do the max. Let's do it. Try to do it right in one step this time. So we're going to say conditional formatting. Now we want to add a rule. And I want to go back to my classic again and use a formula. So I'm going to say equals and this is greater than or equal to the max of these cells. Now let's fix this. So I don't want any dollar signs here, so I want the row and the column to change. And here I want only the row to change, not the columns. And I want it red. So seems to be working. If I make this a 4, that should be red. Now if I paste this down using Format Painter, it looks like it's worked. So let's just try a few things here and make sure. If I make these both 12, they should both be red. It's 0.5, they should both be green. So it looks like it's correctly highlighting the minimum and maximum. Okay, so we're finished with part 1 here. There are some other ways to do this. I'm going to stop right here. I'll make another segment and add on to this if I want to go there. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this has helped sort this out for you. That is, if I just want to highlight this group of cells and maybe shade everything that's greater than 3. So I'm going to just highlight this. Now this isn't obvious because I want to highlight all the cells that are, I think I said over or greater than 2. So I'm going to pick this that says format only cells that contain. That doesn't really intuitively make sense. So I'll click that. Then it says specific text. Well, that's not what I want, but if you look in here, you can go cell value. Then you've got a choice. So I can say many things, not between, equal to, greater than. So I'm going to say greater than 2, and I'm going to make it, I don't know, yellow. So that worked. The only reason I did this because it wasn't obvious to me that you would make the pick that we did. So it's not real easy to find, but it's right there in front of your face if you just look. So that was just one little addition I wanted to make to this video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this will make conditional formatting seem a little bit more straightforward. Thanks.